they're problem solving. They're not just shooting drills, not just ready up and like we would in the carbine course.
It's a challenging class, and when you're at that level, that's what you like. Most guys are like, okay, I want that. I want to be humbled, or I want that challenge. I want to see how I perform
and my equipment, how it performs. And then the other one.
Well, welcome to the Big Tex Ordnance Podcast. I'm Ike. We have Ian today, and then our guests are Don
Edwards
from Greenline, and then Sam.
Sam Houston
from the internet.
Sam Houston.
Greenline and other places.
But yeah, so if you want to just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started Greenline. And
well, my name's Don Edwards, Greenline Tactical. The truth is the name and the company was started as my LLC when I was doing overseas contractor work and stuff like that. Wasn't necessarily doing the training thing. I'd been doing firearms and tactical training also prior with other companies that I was partnerships with. So that was never the intent originally. It was created to be an LLC so that I could be an independent contractor overseas and stuff. But when I was home, I was teaching and doing this and that, and it just kind of evolved. And now I like to say it's been about 5 years since I've gotten a W-2 from somebody else or anything like that. So that's my way of saying I don't do anything but training, consulting, working inside the firearms industry and stuff like that. So it's an adventure, as you know, being self-employed.
Yeah.
It's great to be able to get up every day and do what you love, but you got to hit the ground running and go hunt down that meat, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a weird experience going from W-2 to being your own primary source of only sole source of income.
Yeah, you can't take a break.
Your boss is still an asshole.
Yeah, that never changes.
Bigger one.
Our boss is definitely an asshole.
Well, yours is.
Yeah.
Sam, what about you? What are you up to?
I guess it's been about 3 years since I got a W-2, and after that, I cover down hardcore on the training, so that this is also what I do full time. I probably split my time 50% with Greenline and the other 50% with Warrior Poet Society. I've been working with Don since late 2015, and then WPS about 2017, I believe, is when I started with them. And so it's like Greenline on the weekends and WPS during the week, and oftentimes the classes are kind of close to each other, so I can like leave on a Friday and be there Saturday morning kind of thing. But I'm probably on the road about 180, 200 days a year.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
He's busy.
I'm probably, rough estimate, I'm probably in front of 2,500 to 3,000 students a year.
Oh, snap.
Just rifle, pistol, night vision, aviation stuff, helping him do, the myriad of classes that Greenline does. So it's never a dull moment. I love getting up in front of people and transferring that knowledge. And, I like working with my hands, working outside. It keeps me young, even though my back hurts. But whatever, it's great. I don't ever get up in the morning and go, oh damn, I got to go to work.
Yeah,
it's like, hell yeah, I get to go to work today. So
I get to shoot guns or talk to somebody about guns.
Exactly.
Or do something. I love what I do. But yeah, it is also a job sometimes.
There's admin stuff that we got to do, and like spreadsheets and Excel stuff, and send emails and work in an office from time to time. But still, it's a good balance between blowing things up and shooting off emails.
Yeah.
Blowing up inboxes.
I need to do more of that.
Right.
So what's the main stuff that you're teaching right now, Don?
Well, like I said before we sat down, just about anything on the menu when it comes to firearms and tactics and stuff like that. But the flagship of what, we do with Greenline is either night vision or nighttime operations type stuff. And, the reason is, Sam and I worked together at TNVC, and I've got a long history even prior to that. He was one of my night vision students way before all that. So I've been kind of creating and developing night vision curriculum, especially for the commercial side, or non-government side of the house for between 10 and 15 years, a long time. And, as a matter of fact, we just did some filming this morning with Vic DeCosta, the owner of TNVC, and we were, doing a video series where we were kind of reminiscing about how long, the progression. So it's like I've been involved in the night vision world for quite a long time, I guess, at this point. And Sam worked there, and he's a night vision nerd.
Oh, yeah.
And, one of our other instructors, Eric Butler, worked with us there as well. So I've got a really big depth of dudes who were pretty much some of the experts when it comes to the night vision, community and on the commercial side, just because of how long we've been doing this. And we're into it. It's not like it was just our job. I didn't work at TNVC because I went there because I needed a job. But I also, that was what we were into. So long story short, we do a lot of night vision. Our flagship class is called Night Fighter, but we've got several other, night, either low light or no light type of programs now that are just starting to really take off. So that's what we do. Of course, we also do the sniper, the DMR, the shoot house, pistol, red dot pistol, carbine, all the stuff that everybody else does. But I'd say our accidentally our flagship curriculum became the night ops stuff.
Has your curriculum changed over the years, like in response to new technology?
Oh, we evolved big time, and I love it because that's one of the things. We're very still involved in the night vision industry, and I still do consulting for TNVC, and Sam works with other companies, or people will just reach out to us about new products and things like that. So we do our best to
keep our finger on the pulse,
right? Yeah. Of new equipment and even trends and stuff like that. We were some of the first adopters and proponents of some of the taller mounts that are now commonplace. Mm-hmm. As soon as I saw what that brought to the table, I was like, oh, heck yeah. And I was doing stuff. I was working with American Defense Manufacturing at the time. And I convinced them to make their tall mount. I just had to do one ready up with one of the night skyscrapers, and I was like, okay, now I get it. Let's do this, because this is what we've been needing to shoot passive or even heads up, just running a gun shooting daytime. So, just all that kind of stuff. Yes.
So like on the LE, what kind of equipment are you seeing on the LE Fed side and then also on the civilian side? Like, what's the predominant?
On the law enforcement side, I'm kind of seeing everything from still using PVS 14s, which is totally fine.
It depends, really. Yeah, are we talking like a big, well-funded department who has contacts or guys who are former SOF guys? They're probably running 31s.
Yeah.
Especially
if they've got the budget for it.
Yeah.
And really, on anything.
Harris County SWAT has Panos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out near us.
Yeah, they got Panos. I'm pretty sure Dallas is running Panos. But budget drives the train.
Yeah.
For everybody, almost in anything. So I've worked with SWAT teams who are really, really good, and they're running PVS 14s because that's what they have. They're maybe in the process of upgrading. Every year they can buy a few more sets of duals. But 31s are popular because that's what the military soft community uses. Lasers, we're big proponents of the mall. Mm-hmm. We've been really close with B.E. Myers for years. We don't keep that a secret, Not that the other lasers are crap, but,
right.
We're big advocates of it. We like it. So, we're seeing, we just see quite a bit of those, either from our recommendation or whatever. But we're starting to see more and more equipment. I don't know if everybody's getting taught how to use it the way they should. And that's kind of like a drumbeat that I've had over the years, is like the taxpayers literally spent a lot of money for you to have this. For a fraction of that cost, you could learn how to really use it well.
Yeah.
And there's more to it than just turning it on and going to work.
Can I bring up one example?
Sure.
So I'm not going to name.
Don't embarrass me.
Right. I'm not going to name the department, but he and I and our buddy, if you know John Dufresne, Mocha Bear, was there. Yeah. We were doing a night vision train up for a major metropolitan SWAT team in a major city, and if I said the city, everybody knows the city. At the end of training, we finished up about 2 a.m. or so. They get a call out at about 4:30, right? And it's some crazy guy. I don't know if he was suicidal or homicidal or whatever. Anyways, the SWAT team gets called out, and they made the news and they were showing us on the news. They were like,
we saw it at breakfast.
Yeah, we saw it at breakfast. And so we go in the next day, and obviously at 4:30 in the morning in the city, it's dark. And I'm like, hey, guys, so I saw you on the call out. They're like, yeah. I'm like, it was dark. They're like, yeah. I'm like,
I didn't see any nods on your head.
See any nods on your head? They're like, well, I'm like, you brought us in to train you on nods, and then you're not going to use it.
They're like, fuck me, right?
Right. So that's that. There's
a
if
mindset.
If they have the funding, they're all about the hardware. But nobody is about the software. I wouldn't say nobody, but the software is lacking in a lot of cases.
Yeah. But we're seeing it more and
Is that
more.
a lot more?
I'll get these, teams, and they don't always know what they want or need, which is better. Because when they start to tell me, I want this, this, and this, and this, I'm like, well, I don't even know if you're like over here yet. Yeah. But when they tell me something like, we would like to try to minimize our dependence on white light, I'm like, I got you, fam. We can do that. What kind of gear do you have? Or we got all this stuff and we think we know how to use it, but we really, really want to learn, how to maximize this stuff. And I've had team commanders tell me, it's like we just did this thing, and I was talking to, one of the guys that was on the team, with me when we were both young dudes, and like, wouldn't it have been great if we'd had this stuff back on this other job when we were first on the team? And you're like, yeah, that would have been a lot better, And so some of the older guys are seeing like, wow, this is a game changer for us, especially if they're in the leadership, if they're able to look back and be like, wow, there were times 10 years ago when we didn't have this, that this would have been great. But a lot of times if they don't have any training, it doesn't occur to them to bring it. So if they've never really trained with it and it's not a habitual thing that they do, like when they grab their stuff, if they're not always grabbing their nods, they won't. But usually I found when they get some training, they receive some training, and then they incorporate it into their weekly, monthly, whatever they do, it seems to be just like, they grab their helmet, they grab their nods. And, then if they find themselves at 12 noon but in a dark warehouse, like, oh, we can do this and move
we can
about.
see.
Because, it doesn't have to be nighttime.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff that I try to explain to these guys. Then we show them how to really maximize it and
or that SWAT
understand
call
how
out could last 12, 14, 16 hours.
Yeah, you might show up in the daytime, but it gets dark every night.
Oh yeah. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. But we try to really educate, and that's I think something that we make a big deal out of is like I want you to understand this stuff, not just how to turn it on and how to focus it and how to run a gun with it. The more you understand how it works and why it works, the easier or the more the better you can employ it. Mm-hmm. Just like a machine gunner. A machine gunner, the more he understands everything about that gun and how it works and what it's capable of, the better he can employ that thing as a system. I look at night vision systems the same way. That's just me. Yeah, we're kind of nerds.
On the civilian side, how many classes a year do you think you do just night vision?
Night vision, the majority of our night vision classes are civilian.
Oh, really?
Classes. Oh, yeah.
At least probably, if you like, all of our night vision classes, whether it's the night fighter, dark lab, night vision rifleman, the aerial target, the helicopter stuff, and maybe a night vision DMR class, 20 classes.
Anywhere
especially
between 10 and 20.
Wow.
Some of them are specialized.
If you count the summit, even more.
Yeah. Then I have the Night Ops Summit that is, usually have about 100 people, and there's usually 5, 6, 7 different classes going on during that time frame. That's a big thing. I guess we could talk about that.
Yeah.
You need to go to that.
Yeah,
you guys should be there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a little bit.
Okay,
That seems
cool.
pretty cool.
Well, tell them first the idea, what it was originally, and then what it morphed into.
Well, I've been kind of scheming and dreaming about trying to get some sort of symposium style, but nighttime, night ops thing going for a while. And you talk about the round table.
The round
concept?
table.
Well, that was really something different, but was kind of looking at how do we gather the main, I would say the smartest dudes or the most
the best in the business.
as that are training night vision, that are actively teaching that type of stuff, and kind of put our heads together and be like, okay, what would be considered a like bare minimum? Let's all try to agree on something like if there was going to be a night fighter curriculum or a law enforcement night vision curriculum. What's one that we could say, yeah, I recommend you go to that one if you don't go to mine. You know, like it meets all this, you know, and then we're all free to put our own spin and flavor or whatever. But what, you know, and that kind of thing. And then, you know, but going back to me always wanting to do this, you know, almost like shooter symposium style of it. The plan is just aligned in, what's it, last year's 20, early 2022 or the late 21. And I found a location that was pretty suitable in South Carolina, the GTI Government Training Institute.
Oh, okay.
It's an old nuclear facility next to the Savannah River site, and it's a training facility. And they have lodging on site. They have ranges,
classrooms,
facilities, classroom, cafeteria, everything. And it was a really good place. And it's logistically not too far from, you know, where we live, where I live and Sam does. So, you know, we wouldn't have to fly in. And it's sold out. I announced it at TNVC's V-Shot that year. And it's sold out 6 weeks prior to the event with 100 people.
Wow.
I had, I think we ended up having about 10 sponsors, and it was really a small circle. It was mostly the companies that I do stuff with already and are friends with.
But they were well known.
Oh,
big
I had OpsCore, B.E. Myers, TNVC, Audi Gear was there. Who else?
Firearms Depot,
Magpul, Firearms Depot, John over there. So, I mean,
all the big guys,
all my friends,
yeah.
You know. But really, what it was like all my friends, and let's go do this. This is going to be really cool. Cobalt Kinetics, yeah. It was everything I hoped it would be. It was great, and that was my goal. And the people loved it. I was tired, but I had fun. All the instructors loved it. Even the catering lady was like, "Let's do this again." So, and that was really what I wanted. So, this past November was the second annual, and you know we're here at SHOT Show. In case you guys don't know that, and the plan is to talk to all those previous sponsors and stuff like that. The plan is coming together for the third annual this year. So
it's going to be
it's a blast,
even better.
Oh yeah,
that's the plan at least.
Yeah, I saw some just people on Instagram posting about it, and it looked like a pretty sweet time.
I look forward to it. We know going into it, it's like we're going to be working 18-hour days.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the prep work beforehand and the cleanup afterwards. Yeah. It's like it's a 4-day event, but it's really about a week-long event for us.
Yeah,
but it's so much fun. There's training time and shooting time, and there's obviously
bro time.
And there's bro time.
Yeah. There's plenty of and that's the big thing is I look at, especially, you know, I mean, I have an alumni network of people like a lot of guys do, and they're heavily into the night vision side of things. Not everybody is, but I look at it as kind of like a tribe. And this is once a year where the tribe can get together and do something.
Hood rat gangster shit.
Yeah. So there's guys having beers or, you know, bourbons and cigars by the bonfire at night because it's November in South Carolina, so you know it's going to be chilly. And just hanging out sometimes till wee hours of the morning.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, because
sun's coming up and people are like, oh, I guess we should probably get 3-4
get a
hours
nap
of sleep
before. You know, because ranges don't go hot till like 5 o'clock in the afternoon because we're training till midnight.
Yeah.
So it's that reverse thing, but it's So the camaraderie, I've heard guys tell other guys, you need to go just for the experience. You know, even if you know, the training is one thing, but it's just like the people that you meet. And
we had like a
stuff.
bourbon tasting, and you know, the raffle auction.
Yeah, well, and the cool thing is, and this is how you and I know each other, is this year I was able to raise $15,000 for SOC-F.
Oh, wow.
And little old me. The year prior, what did we raise?
That's almost 9.
We raised
like
about 10,
700.
But it was really also because Firearms Depot said we'll double whatever comes in, and we did it a little bit differently. This year it was a straight raffle, and I just invited the sponsors to donate stuff, and before you know it, you know how it is. Something else shows. There's Roscoe put another barrel on the table. You know, a mall shows up on the prize table. You know, where'd that come from? And that wasn't even somebody in the crowd bought it.
Oh wow!
And then put it on the prize table.
Nice.
And the only person that knew was my admin guy, who I still don't know who it was. I think I might know, but and he was instructed, like, if you pull my ticket, you know.
Pull another one.
Like pull another one. You know, I didn't buy it to win it. I bought it to donate to SOC-F. So I was like, holy crap, you know, that was pretty amazing. So yeah, I like to do that. You know, that's an organization that's dear to my heart. So,
as far as the classes though, like anything night vision, it pretty much goes out there. I think the only thing we didn't do night vision related was like night vision driving. But we had, flat range rifle, pistol stuff. We had
Chuck Pressburg in the shoot house.
Yeah. We had
Nice.
like low light handgun, UTM stuff. We had long range precision stuff. We had like a lot of like dynamic moving and shooting type classes. Both handgun and rifle. I mean, you name it, it was there, and that was just the shooting stuff. And I think a big draw for a lot of people is there's a lot of lectures going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I did 3 different lectures, I think.
This year, you were busy.
I was busy. I mean, just the lecture portion. Like we have a wide variety of lectures. Like a guy named Mark Golly came in from Federal Ammunition, and he gave this just awesome speech lecture on kind of the state of the
ammo industry and like dispelling myths that the guys, everybody's got some conspiracy theory. He's like that's not it at all.
Here's how it actually
let me break
is.
it down to you, Barney Fife style. And who like him and Chuck Pressburg did a long discussion of just about lasers, weapon lasers, and stuff like that.
Dwayne
Buck
Buckner
from Aimpoint.
He did a really cool kind of decision-making, human mind, like how we learn things, how we do things. It was pretty good.
Yeah. So I mean, I just invite the different instructors and stuff like that to we just made time like TED Talks, and
people are asking
threw it out there to the
questions,
sponsors
taking notes
and like the guys from Ops Corps came up and just kind of talked about upcoming new products and stuff like that. So it's one of those things where I like to, I've got friends in the industry and connections and the ability to help my people, my tribe, and enhance my tribe by giving them some cool information that they can't normally get, and they can hear it straight from the person's mouth. They're talking to one of the head international sales guys from Federal. They can ask him a question. He's worked there for a long time. They can talk to the 2 dudes from Ops Corps, about their products and ask questions about stuff. So
and all the vendors are selling stuff. So if you need a Blue Force Gear chalk belt, or you need like B. Myers was selling malls at a massive discount.
Yeah, they do.
It was really surprising. L3 was there. Blue Alpha was there.
This year we had more on the sponsor side. What was I going to say? Oh, like the very first year, it was much colder than normal. And Todd from Audi Gear, he showed up and within the first 20 minutes sold every jacket that he brought. Yeah, because they were like, "Take my money."
It was cold as fuck.
It was cold. It was just really cold. And he's like, "Man, I wish I'd have brought more jackets." I was like, "I told you guys to bring merch. People are going to buy this stuff." You're talking, to guys that are walking around with PVS 31s or Panos and Malls. It's like they're
they got the
guys,
money.
They're not and they're discerning. They like quality.
Yeah.
And they may know about Audi, but they've never seen it. But they get to see it. I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, here." And they're not afraid to spend good money on good kit. And you're probably not going to see crappy stuff at the Night Ops Summit.
We're not going to fucking allow it. Straight up.
Yeah.
No shit companies. I'm not going to fucking use
He's
it. Seriously.
Yeah.
I love how he makes those kind of decisions for me sometimes. But he's
Somebody's
not wrong.
got to.
He's not wrong.
So, do you have the instructor lineup for 2024 yet, or are you still working on that?
No, we've got, I'd say,
many
of
we got everything
and
stuff
second
out till
quarter.
December.
Yeah, most of first and second quarter are pretty full. And then I would say the only gap that we have is like late spring and through the summer is still kind of open.
May is completely
May
filled up.
So starting June. Okay, so the summer, the summer months still have some openings, but yeah, we always used to call from like the fall time change to the springtime change. We call that night fighter season because it gets dark so much earlier.
You have a lot more usable dark
But
hours.
now it seems like there's no such thing because it bleeds a little. It's been bleeding a little bit each way. It's like the only thing we don't do is really in the summertime. But I'll be back here in Vegas in April doing an MVG shoot house class because Pro Gun Club's shoot house is inside a warehouse and we could black that thing out.
Oh, nice.
So, even then, if you find venues that you can do stuff during the day and not have to worry about it, it's not a big deal. So, it used to be we only had so much, and it's still, kind of like that. But it's, I just make sure people realize, hey, we may not start shooting till 7 or 8, so that means we're going to be up until like 3 or 4 instead of midnight. Like, we don't care.
One of the cool things about doing night vision training is, you can go to somebody's range.
Besides the fact that you're better than everybody else because you have nods.
100%. Is, the range could have, fill in the blank instructor booked during the day. And they're like, nah, you can't use that range. It's like, dude, we don't need that range until it gets dark. That'll be long gone.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. We can double schedule. It's like, so we don't interfere, and ranges can actually make pretty decent money, and there's no, overlap.
Bob Keller and I were on the same range at the same time one weekend.
That's happened many times. I think Clint Smith was on the range during the day, and we were there at night. And, maybe Costa was doing something one time, or I can't remember.
But, so, that's what we do.
Works out nice then.
Is the summit, is that a invite only, or is there a sign up?
No,
for
it's open enrollment.
Cool. Yeah, first come, first serve, open enrollment. Yeah.
There's some certain classes have prereqs.
Yeah.
So if you've taken a carbine class, probably don't go jump into an advanced night vision class, or maybe don't jump into Chuck Pressburg's CQB class unless you get air horns tossed at you and if you know Chuck, you know Chuck.
Yeah.
Just as long as you're safe with guns and you've had some type of previous daytime training.
Yeah,
you're
even I mean, ideally, and most of the guys have either training or experience doing night vision stuff. But this year, this past year, for the first time, Sam actually, we called it Night Fighter Light because our Night Fighter course is 2 nights. But he jammed probably about 80% of the course into a 1-day format. So I mean, it was probably 12 or 13 hours. What would you say? Maybe more, 14 hours.
It was
total.
It was about
with classroom
13
and
hours.
range.
13 hours.
Yeah. So, and then a lot more people than we thought were going to actually took that. But what that allowed them is hey, then they could be free to take, easily take, Mocha Bear's, shoot and scoot, whatever I don't remember what he was teaching, performance pistol, and stuff, or the dark lab, because if they hadn't done that before, they would have been lost in dark lab.
Yeah.
So the first night they took that, and then they had 2 more nights of
good stepping stone.
Nice, yeah, stuff, little dip your toes in.
Well,
well, it was almost the full 2-day night course.
We identified some issues. There was a couple people who maybe lied on their resume and got the job anyway. And hey, bro, you just should have gone to the level 1 class. So maybe next year take the level 1. That's why we incorporated it.
Yeah. And it worked out good. We'll probably keep doing that on some level, because I didn't think how many people did you end up with? Over 20.
25.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was thinking if we wouldn't even get 20 people, but
a lot of people there, I think, were there for the lecture portion. If you ever sit through our Night Fighter lecture portion, there's
pretty in depth.
Yeah, there's no other course that I've been to or know of that does the lecture portion for night vision like we do. And some people are like, "Oh, I hate death by PowerPoint. I don't care about that." Well, okay, then go to a different class. If you want to truly learn about night vision, that's what the lecture portion is. And the lecture portion will last anywhere from about 4 hours on the low end. It averages about 5.5 or 6, but it's gone as long as 8.5 hours. Because dudes are just asking questions.
We'll stay there and answer questions until everybody's,
out of questions.
And that's the thing is we'll have fellow instructors be like, "Why do you guys spend so much time doing that lecture stuff? Nobody cares." Oh, yeah? We had dudes asking us questions for 8 hours one night, and to the point where
just because you can't answer those questions.
Yeah, just because you don't know the answers doesn't mean people don't want them.
It's in our Night Fighter course is different than everybody else's, and I'm not saying that other courses out there.
Not saying it's better.
Bad.
It's just not the same.
Ours is a night vision course with shooting.
Yeah.
It's not a carbine class where you strap your nods on and just do, you know, daytime stuff wearing nods. Like, you're going to learn about night vision, the ins and outs of it, what's going on at the subatomic level inside an intensifier tube, how the magic happens and everything like that.
Yeah.
In addition to lasers and, you know, all the data points on a tube spec sheet and what matters and what doesn't matter.
But
yes.
we still shoot a lot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you'll burn it down.
But that's what I tell people is, like, it's not a shooting course. It's a night vision course, but where we shoot. Because the equipment was designed for that, with that in purpose.
Yeah. Shooting is the medium by which we impart, you know, knowledge.
Yeah. So, but now we have a class called Dark Lab, which is like, there's a good chance if you haven't taken Night Fighter either from us or somebody else,
Dark Lab will fuck you up.
You might get your shit pushed in. And it's just,
it's an awesome,
it's very experiential learning. So you show up, you know, it's still crawl, walk, run kind of thing. You know, you're not thrown into the deep end, but you're allowed to kind of figure things out for yourself.
Yeah.
Most of it's skills and drills based. It's like, okay, here's what we're going to do. You might even
solve this problem.
Tell them the learning objective from it. But like, okay, go, boom, okay. Now that everybody's done it, you know, what do you think? How would you do differently? You know, is that tape switch where you in the right spot now? Do you still think it's in the right spot?
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. So, you know, you got your gear, you got your setup, you know how to run it. Let's see. And it's a fun class. It's one of my favorite classes. And I don't teach it as a primary. I'm usually an assistant instructor for Eric Butler. I did teach it not too long ago because he couldn't. But it's fun watching guys be like, that was cool. I've never done anything like that before. And you see their brain thinking, you know, because it's a carbine course.
It's a challenging class. Mm-hmm. And when you're at that level, that's what you like. Most guys are like, okay, I want that. I want to be humbled, or I want that challenge. I want to see how I perform
and my equipment, how it performs. And then the other one, you know, I guess the yang to the yin on that one is the night NVG rifleman, which is, I would say, it's his,
a real
it's his baby, and it's more cerebral, less dynamic, more like, okay, can you hit that from here with a laser?
Yeah.
How good a group
if you
can
can't,
you shoot?
or I'll like, hey, if you do this with your laser, you can do some other stuff, or hey, check out, like, look at my gun setup. Now look what I can do with it. And I'm not saying you got to mirror what I do, but there's a method to my madness. Like, there's a reason. Like, if you look at Don and I's gun, they're virtually identical. Maybe
we might have a different brand.
Like, I have
of
a
flashlight.
12.5. He has a 13.9. But that's really about
Monlight, Cloud, whatever,
or Surefire or whatever. But and then the new baby is the aviation stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've heard.
No, I heard him mention aviation earlier, so I was like,
so I've over the years done several things with a pilot, a company called Airborne Tactical Training Solutions, and he's out of Southern Florida. Probably one of the best little bird pilots ever, and he's not even a military dude. He's just been flying these things. He used to fly in the movie industry and stuff like that. Nice. And back in the day when Thomas Carlson was the director of marketing for Daniel Defense, remember the tan DD helicopter?
Yeah.
This is that same same guy. He still has that bird, but he's got a newer one. So we're doing daytime aerial target engagement. We call it ATE, and then NATE, or NATE, is our night aerial target engagement class. And I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's a really big eye opener, and it's mainly for the guys that have done the night fighters and the dark labs, and they're like, okay, what can we do next? And we don't just, like, it's not a tourism kind of thing. It is a bit of an experience, but they're learning about the helicopter, and
you're actually getting
a mini certification as a crew member.
Certification.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, because being that it's a little bird, he has benches, and he's one of, if not the only, like, civilian entity that is certified by the FAA and has the right licenses to fly people on the exterior of the helicopter. But you have to be a crew member.
A crew member, sure.
Yeah,
so they go through
ground school
training and all that stuff. We put them through all that with him and all that. And then, there's some nuances to shooting from a helicopter, like don't put your gun up because that's bad. And also, if you're sitting and your feet are hanging out, down is bad too because your toes are down there. So, look out the horizon. There's all kinds of little things that people are like, wow, I never thought about that. Like, yeah, well, you've never been on a helicopter before.
Yeah.
And how, your forward momentum changes, potentially your point of aim on the target, and it changes, depending on the speed as well. So we teach guys, lagging or reverse leading the target when we're in forward flight. So it's a concept that
it's also
people have
fun.
never done.
We get to fly around on little birds.
Helicopters all day.
It's like, I can't complain.
There's worse ways to spend a day.
Exactly. It's like I've been, fortunate enough. I did that for my first time ever when I was like a 20-year-old Ranger. And like now I'm in my 50s and I'm retired and I figured out a way to keep doing it.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. Not bad.
And the day class, like I can't even decide which one's more fun, the night ones or the day ones, because the day classes are so scenic. Like we have some really cool locations that we do this stuff at. And the day class, like, we're not under nods or anything like that, but it's so pretty being up in the air.
Yeah.
But at night, it's like these guys are freaking juicing a target with their maul going, 30 miles an hour at, 100 feet up, completely, blacked out, and it's cool.
It doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Like even in the military, there's not a lot of like aerial gunnery that happens that way. Usually it's like a crew serve weapon, or maybe a designated marksman or sniper's taking a precision shot or something like that. But as far as like dudes riding exterior on benches and doing that doesn't really.
It's a select few people that do that. So
it's the most fun you'll ever have with your clothes on.
Yeah.
As far as
as far as we found out, anyways.
Yeah, and like people, the haters will be like, "Oh, that's not contextually relevant." Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, if you've taken 12 carbine classes, like, dude, go have an experience.
Yeah.
Like, get up in a helicopter and shoot shit. And there's a lot of places out there that do like helicopter hog hunts, and if you watch the flight profiles they fly, it's very straight and level, and then maybe they'll yaw the bird a little bit to give the shooter, a better shot. But dude, we're flying completely different. We're doing banks and orbits, and then even like he'll slip the aircraft and he'll dive in. So you're on the bench and you're moving forward in a dive, and the helicopter's like this, and then he'll pull out of the dive. So you're actually like shooting forward.
How many dudes have you had puke when you're?
No, it's not
none.
violent or anything like that. But we have guys bring it's like, hey, well, I'm gonna bring my full auto lower. Yep, cool.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna bring my M249 saw. Okay, cool.
Yep.
You're flying with Don.
You got a guy that you're sitting next to him next time.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
But if you didn't know this, an M249's ejection pattern with the links is incredibly violent, and
it's right at me.
There's some videos. You can hear Don screaming over the turbine of the helicopter. He's like, It's like a battered spouse.
Dude, I'm wearing gloves, and I'm putting my hands up here because otherwise it's going to hit me in the face, links, and like I have bruises in the palm of my hand from like trying to deflect this crap.
Yeah.
I'm like
catcher's mitt.
Yeah.
But no, being around the helicopters, I'm an aviation guy by trade, and so I get to do what you did. Like I'm like in my 20s again. This is awesome.
Yeah. So and we're full steam for this year.
Nice.
Shot. Got a lot of meetups lined up.
Yeah.
With different people and stuff like that. Just a lot of it's going to be focused around the summit, and seeing got a few people that may want to do some like formal T&E type stuff, because that's the thing too is like it's not just me and him. I have a handful of other instructors, and some of those guys have regular jobs. A few of them are like kind of doing this full time because they're retired military or whatever. So I have guys that are literally subject matter experts that will sit down and may not be me, but we'll sit down and whatever testing criteria we come up with that I'll do for you.
We have the best sniper in the world.
Yeah.
As one of our instructors.
Yeah. Well, he was the team leader for the team that just won the international sniper competition. So
technically
we can argue he's the best sniper in the world. Right?
At least until next year.
Yeah, until somebody beats him. But Eric Vargas is his name. He's a really good dude. He lives here in Vegas. So T&E and stuff like that. So we're kind of trying to open that up a little bit more because it's, I did some of that in the past, but when I was a one-man show, that gets hard, because you're trying to do that, fulfill those commitments, and teach the classes and do everything. So now I've got more of a staff of, guys that can definitely do
a
stuff
cadre,
like that.
if you will.
Cadre, a stable.
So on the gear side, like, what's a common mistake that you see? New guy just starting out bought his first set of night vision. What did he buy that probably shouldn't have, or what specs did he look at? And
he probably bought his night vision off of his Facebook feed or the very first internet search engine search he did, and it was probably some, I don't want to say wish.com thing, but we've seen guys show up with literally wish.com night vision, and I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be a great class for you, sir. And by the end of it, they're just like
defeated.
Well, it sucks because they thought they got a good deal.
Yeah.
And then they realize I spent a lot of money on this, and it's not what I thought it was.
What are y'all seeing? Like, what's a good example of that wish.com kind of stuff?
Well,
I hate to say certain brands.
Yeah.
We say other than Acton Black.
Yeah, if it has an A in the name, other than like Acton Black, I generally tell people to A means avoid. So, yeah. The big thing, I think, or a big thing that we see is guys go into the night vision kind of procurement phase with the wrong mindset. If you're a bargain hunter, if you're looking for the cheapest thing, that is not the right mindset to be in when you like with night vision. You're gonna have to have that come to Jesus talk with yourself and be like, hey, I'm about to spend several $1,000s. Like, understand that, and by several thousand, I mean probably $4,000 to $10,000.
Yeah.
To get something that is usable and everything like that. You don't have to spend $10,000.
But you're going to spend at least 4 or 5. And we're talking with the bump helmet and a decent laser and everything, provided you already have the
probably a 14.
The guns,
yeah.
But that's going to get you into a good PVS 14.
Mm-hmm.
But what do we see that? But that's a big one. Is like you can still get the best value for your money, but one of our sayings
thresholds you need to hit.
One of our sayings is good night vision is not cheap, and cheap night vision isn't good.
Yeah.
And I quote old friend of mine, James Yeager. He used to say $1,000 worth of flashlights is better than $1,000 worth of night vision. Be like, what do you mean? He's like, because $1,000 worth of night vision is crap.
Yeah.
That's, and we know it's expensive.
Yeah.
But here's the truth. What you get for $4,000 today would have cost you $20,000.
Yeah.
10 years ago or 15 years ago, and 15 years ago, $20,000 was more than your dad made a year. That was a lot more money.
Yeah.
So it's not going down in price, but what you get for the money and your dollar and all that stuff it really is less expensive than it was. I mean, if you think about it, regular dudes are buying night vision. That was never before.
Yeah.
10 years ago, when I was just kind of like getting involved in all this stuff, it was still unobtainium to most people. It was harder to get. There wasn't as many options, but still, the price point, even though we're still talking about the same $4,000 to $5,000, $4,000 to $5,000 was a lot more money 10 years ago. And
now dudes are running around panos.
Yeah. Now we got dudes.
It's a good time to be alive.
It's awesome. It's great, and I'm not a hater at all. I love it. I think it's cool. I think to me, night vision is just like the Second Amendment. It's one of those things that everybody should be able to have whatever they want, kind of thing. And I think it's a right that it's not regulated by anybody. But I don't think there should be any restrictions on ownership of that stuff. And honestly, most of the restrictions over time, other than the laser thing, has been mostly because companies want to maintain their contracts with their government, clients and stuff like that, and or they can only make so much of it, so they just focus there.
One other thing, and if you kind of look at the curriculum we teach and how it was designed, is to the layman, when you're getting into night vision, it can be really intimidating. I mean, there's people are almost overwhelmed because you get tube specs and what laser and this
there's
helmet.
so much.
There's a whole lot of
There's
shit.
so many. Everybody's out there trying to give you advice on the internet about this stuff. You know, there was a time where nobody knew shit about it. You know, now everybody knows something, and you know.
And so a lot of what we teach is geared around guys who are maybe in the procurement phase, so they know what to buy. It's like, and they can buy what they should buy, and then avoid kind of the fluff products. Or at least like, hey, I can put that purchase off. It's a nice to have, not a need to have kind of thing. And we'll separate it down like that. And then obviously the real nerdy tube spec stuff, which we talked to Vic DeCosla at the this morning when we were filming, but the tube data sheet, and I'm sure you guys are all familiar with that. The tube data sheet it's big. People care about that. I won't say everybody understands what it is, but it's kind of like, it's the birth certificate / if you were to take like your car to the dyno test shop and it spits out torque, horsepower, compression, and all that stuff. So it's like that, and it does it matter? Some of the things matter, some of the things don't matter, but we kind of dive into it and kind of dissect it for people and help them better understand stuff.
And we have rental stuff.
That was my next question.
Yeah, so a lot of guys take advantage of that. That's kind of like not really try it before you buy it, but come to the class, come to the training, and save yourself some money on the backside of,
At
when
least
you're
this way
buying
you're
stuff.
figuring out what you actually want and
or
what's
what
important.
you should get. Because I've had lots of guys, even close friends of ours, they stand up in class and be like, yeah, look, if I had taken Night Fighter before I bought what I bought, I would have probably gone a little bit different direction. Not that they were unhappy with what they have, but they're like, I would have gotten this instead. I would have, gone this route, but, whatever. So,
let's just say the Night Fighter class costs you $1,500, with
tuition, ammo and everything,
lodging,
right.
gas to get there, whatever.
Renting,
Yeah, $1,500 on the front end. It has saved guys tens of thousands of dollars on the back end. I mean, not to mention you do give out a half-decent discount code.
A few
at
coupon
TNVC.
codes and cool things like that guys can use.
It'll basically pay for the class depending on what you buy. But again, having that software upgrade and the knowledge up there to know what to buy and not to buy has saved guys a lot of money. Yeah. And that's what we want. We want the consumer base to be educated because one, they won't get swindled because there are some predatory practices happening in the night vision industry. I've seen it, been there, done that. It pisses me off. Hate it more than anything. And then also it just pushes the industry in a better direction. It leads to innovation. It leads to more transparency, and it makes, everybody better in the long run, even though there are some teething and growing pains from some people that are gnashing and kicking and stomping.
Yeah. So, yeah, we could probably talk about night vision training and shit for hours.
Yeah. We can do it for actually 8.5 hours. That's the lecture portion.
So far. Yeah. We could probably do it for more. But
we're night vision nerds.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, but we also shoot during,
during
the
day.
That's boring though when you have night vision.
What did you say earlier? We'll kill
you
no matter when?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what time of day it is. Yeah, it's the red dot pistol stuff is probably, when it comes to handgun stuff, is the most sought after. It's an up and coming thing.
Yeah.
I still say at some point before too long, there'll just be a pistol course, and there'll be no such thing as a red dot pistol course.
Yeah, because they'll all be red dots.
It'll all be. We'll have to have a special class for iron sights.
Yeah,
probably.
It'll be like the revolver classes.
Exactly.
Now.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody's taking revolver classes now. Probably in 10 years, I'll have a new class coming out. So like iron sights, irons only.
Introduction to irons.
Yeah.
Civil War.
Go borrow your dad's
pistols.
Glock, Gen 3 Glock, and bring it to class.
Nice.
You have to bring a sight tool to install sights on people's guns.
Yeah, you're
Take
taking
the
red dots off.
Put that on, yeah.
Or just put like a swamp fox on it and it'll die. You can edit that out.
Or not.
But
we have no affiliation with them, so it's not like it's going to matter. But yeah, like I said, we got snipery dudes as instructors.
SWAT cops.
Yeah. So, yeah, at this point, it's just time to hit the gas.
So the summit this year, what are the dates?
Well, it's It's the weekend prior to
Thanksgiving.
So it actually starts on Thursday, ends on Sunday. So I think
what are
that's
those dates on
matter of fact, I'll tell
on
you.
my phone? No,
It's like the 20 something.
Yeah, so it'll start on Thursday. So the format that we did this last year, we're going to stick with. I can say that for sure. And by the time you post this, it'll be probably on the internet anyways.
21st through the 24th.
So Thursday the 21st will start, and so there'll be classes, all the stuff going on during the day, Thursday night and Friday night. And then Saturday night, Saturday day and night, I implemented an extra day there for the sponsors. So we had daytime, range, demo, whatever, nighttime. But what I didn't want was it to be one of those tired old range days, like you walk up to the table, the one that was just going on over at another range all day today, right? You walk up to the table, you shoot the half a mag through the gun, you put it down, you take a selfie, whatever. I wanted to be interactive. So the guys at B.E. Myers had a little competition going on. Plus, I think they had the Chuck show going on there too and stuff. Cobalt had something, going on with their guns and stuff where you could win, something if you were the top shooter at the thing. So I want it to be more of a fun thing, more of a festival kind of environment. And that's really what I'm trying to foster with this thing. I don't want it to be the tired old range days.
You don't want it to be forced.
Yeah. I forced the guys to be there because if you're watching it, the reason I didn't do it on the first or the last night is because I knew half you guys would bug out and not go to it. So, but I think the feedback that I got from almost everybody was it was great. There was some competitive things going on and stuff like that, and try to get the different sponsors involved with their products and into the shooting fun shoots and stuff like that. So it was that, and then we wrapped up early, and that was the night that we did the raffle and the bourbon tasting and cigars and all that stuff. So that was really the scheduled camaraderie time.
Yeah.
Every night it was unscheduled. It was there for people to
Just
do whatever
kinda
they wanted to. But this was hey, we're going to be here.
It was the forced family fun.
Yeah. Mandatory fun, as we used to say in the Army.
We had dudes, one dude who brought his golf cart. It's outfitted for fishing. It's got a cooler on it, full of beer, ice, and he'd drive the thing around. He'd pull up in front of you and be like, "Grab a beer," and then he'd drive off into the next person, "Grab a beer," So it was cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So Saturday night is the main, hanging out and fun time night, and then Sunday night was the third night 3 of the training event. So, we chose that weekend, the weekend prior to Thanksgiving. For one, it's after the time change.
Yeah.
So it gets dark early. The weekend before that is my son's birthday, so you guys will be there without me, at least until he, gets old enough to move out of the house.
Just bring him.
Yeah. Well,
he can set up targets and pick up brass.
Yeah. I'll never get
Happy birthday.
He won't do that. He'll be looking for a Wi-Fi signal so he can play Minecraft. And then after that is Thanksgiving, and as you know, being industry guy, the sponsors, by the time the end of November hits, they're preparing for this week.
Yeah.
And they can't be
or
bothered.
Holiday sales.
Yeah, and then you got the holiday Black Friday.
Yeah, because you just came out Black Friday, then you got Christmas coming up and all that.
Yeah.
Lots of time off in there, and then you're all trying to squeeze in the last month before SHOT Show.
Yeah, so even then I knew I was pushing the envelope with some of the sponsors to be able to participate, because really we can't do stuff like that without the support of the industry, and not just financially, but the guys that are coming to this, they want to see that.
It's part of the
They
draw.
love the idea that they can go and actually talk to the guy from L3 or Ops Corps.
Yeah, because where else are you going to get that? Where are you going to have one of the big guys from Federal come and talk about the
right?
They
don't.
Not even here, really.
Yeah. And most of those guys don't. Aren't in a position they come to SHOT Show or something like that. So where else can they meet the guys from the place that they use the products? So they wear Ops Corps helmets. They get to talk to the guys about their stuff. B.E. Myers, they get to talk to
Ryan Osborne.
To Ryan.
Yeah.
And hang out and all that stuff. So that's, I like that. To me, because we're end users. That's one of the reasons I like to come to SHOT.
Yeah.
Is we like to see certain people and see my old friends, but make new ones, and they love it too. These are the kind of guys that are into that and stuff. So
by the time you get into night vision, if you're a shithead, you've been weeded out in your second pistol class.
Yeah.
So the dudes that are coming to night vision classes are, cream of the crop.
Yeah,
of
they've been
good
around the
people.
shooting community and the training community for a long time. So a lot of them know each other, and that's what's cool too. Or they might know each other through social media.
No
and
shitty
finally get
dudes.
to hang out.
It's like there was no behavioral issues. Like everybody's well behaved. I mean, we're having a good time, and people are getting wasted, but they're drinking responsibly. Like there's no alcohol incidents or anything like that.
Yeah.
And there's there's no firearms incidents or anything like that. So
Yeah.
Nice.
So where can people sign up for the summit or
The summit,
another class?
it's not out yet, but it'll be on greenlinetactical.com. It'll and we'll be using all the social media to put it out once we eventually we'll probably soon put out a save the date, but
Gotcha.
But like I said, it'll probably be out by the time people see or hear this. So it's 95% going to be at the GTI again. I've got to confirm with them, but
and subscribe to his newsletter.
Yeah,
too.
we have a newsletter, so the newsletter people will get it. Obviously, just for the general public, I give my alumni in our Facebook group, about a 24 to 48 hour heads up when we do put the summit out, because a lot of those guys are waiting, and that's the least I can do is it'll probably be live on the website. We just won't announce it, and I'll say all right, you guys got till tomorrow night, and then I'm going to tell the masses, so www.greenlinetactical.com. I got the Instagrams, I got the Facebook. Not on Twitter yet. I don't know if that's a thing I should be doing yet or not.
I think we just fired ours back up.
Yeah.
I don't
know.
I do Instagram and Facebook, and that's about as much as I can handle.
Yeah. And then the newsletter and all that. So.
We gave Josh our Twitter account. I don't know if that's a good thing for Josh to have our Twitter account.
Twitter's hit or miss. I don't know. If you're a big name celebrity, it's probably awesome, but.
So what an analogy I've heard is it's like a lot of people all in one room, all trying to talk, and then the popular people, I guess, have a bigger a megaphone or whatever.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, that's in it. That's why I've heard to describe Twitter.
I'm not that popular. I'd be the guy over in the corner nobody can hear.
Yeah, exactly. Well, cool. Well, thank y'all for coming on.
Dude. I
chatting with
appreciate
us
you
for a little bit.
inviting us.
It was great.
Yeah, glad we were able to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, go check them out. Thank y'all for listening and sticking around this whole time. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell your friends, tell your mom, all that. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you for the next one. Cool.
Tell your mom.